folks at home may not be aware, both you and I are trans.
What? Hello, everybody!
Hello, and whoa, my voice broke. Hello, and welcome back to Extra Human, brought to you by your favorite boys. But were you aware of what this week is? Perhaps.
Well, I have recently become aware that it is Transgender Awareness Week.
That is absolutely correct. I don't know if you guys are aware, but you should be at this point. I came out a couple years ago and I started transitioning technically the beginning of this year, the end of last year.
The start of your transition coincided with the start of the channel practically, didn't it?
Practically, yeah. So 1 year of Extra Human will also be 1 year of my medical start of my transition journey too.
Watch the old videos to see how much his voice has changed.
Oh my god, it's insane. You may not be aware of where Garrett falls on the trans spectrum of things. So
Right. You're obviously a trans man. I'm non-binary. Sometimes I feel weird about calling myself trans because I'm not as trans as you are.
Yeah, it's this feeling of trying to prove how trans you are. You know?
Yeah, and it's kind of weird to do that when you feel like you're somewhere in the middle. I don't want to be put in the man box. I don't want to be put in the woman box either. But I know that my outward presentation says masculine, which hey, cool, male privilege, I'll take that. But at the same time,
Mood.
I guess I'm technically in the trans umbrella, but I'm still kind of new to it. It's still not fully ingrained into my own psyche yet. Not the same way that my gay identity was.
Yeah.
We only discover these bits about ourselves when we start actually looking, and we don't start looking until we start hearing about the concept out in the wild.
And which is why Trans Awareness Week is so important.
So important.
The end of the week ends in Transgender Day of Remembrance, and that is a very heavy topic within the trans community. We thought that there is going to be so many trans creators out there doing a much better job of talking about this somber day that we wanted to focus more on bringing awareness to trans creators that I particularly enjoy.
If you feel like supporting a couple of trans creators right now, I highly suggest giving us a like, leaving a comment, say anything, but maybe say some of your favorite trans creators, because goodness knows I could use a few more in my life. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell.
In the description down below, you can find a link to our LinkTree and other social medias, as well as a link to our Patreon and our Ko-fi, if you'd like to help us stay alive.
I like the sound of that. Staying alive sounds nice. I'm very ready to be made more aware of some excellent trans creators.
I'm so excited. The creators we're going to be watching today in this order are Fifi, Jamie from Jammidodgers, and Sam Collins. 4 TikToks for each of them.
One of the worst things about being a trans woman is you can't really complain about men because odds are you've probably done the annoying thing you're about to bitch about. Sometimes I'll be hanging out with my girlfriends, clucking away, having a ball, and my brain will go, "Oh, Fifi, were you ever a neckbeard with a repellent personality who acted like women owed him something and was super into the Joker?"
You bet your ass I was, you guys! And there's not a goddamn thing I can do about it!
But I guess it's a blessing, cause it'll teach me empathy and compassion for my fellow human beings.
The way her voice gets.
It's so empathic, but also so very pained and tired of it all. She seems very self-aware and in tune with who she is. And I love all the nods to her personal growth. One of the most interesting things about the trans experience is that you really do become different from who you were. You have to grow as a person if you're gonna be trans, basically. And it so often manifests in looking back at your old self and being oh god, I was like that, wasn't I?
It's not necessarily oh, I've started transitioning and so now I'm a totally new person. For me, being out now as a trans person and being my authentic self, I put up with significantly less shit from other people. I take much better care of my physical body, and I've become much more aggressive, not aggressive, testosterone aggressive, but with putting myself out there. I'm not as closed off. It's not that I don't want to be seen anymore. I want to be seen as who I am, and here I am.
Good. And seeing other people do the same thing on social media can go a long way towards that.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't it?
Oh yeah. And Fifi is unapologetically. Like, she is a woman, she is also a trans woman, and she's so fucking funny, dude.
Oh, there was a trans weightlifter in the Olympics. She must have kicked all the cis girls' ass. Nope, came in dead last. Oh, no. She must have used her big, burly man muscles to grind all their bones to make her bread. Nope, didn't even qualify. Miss Laurel Hubbard, on behalf of trans women everywhere, thank you so much for blowing. Do you have any idea how much better that is for us than if you would have won it all? If you would have won the gold, the transphobes wouldn't have shut up about it for years, but you screwed that up. So thank you, you glorious loser.
Oh my gosh, the eternal minority's plight of being too good versus the dominant majority.
Yeah, whenever there is like a trans athlete, it's always the main focus on the voices always ends up being the transphobes. They're like, well, we would be more comfortable with trans athletes in the Olympics if there was hormone testing done to like make sure they were in their proper place. These absolute ding-dongs don't realize there is hormone testing done at the Olympics. There is hormone testing because you have to test to see who's like doping. So like, yeah, dipshit, they do test for hormones at the fucking Olympics.
It's a case of, once again, transphobes not knowing what they're talking about.
I feel like the world would have a lot less like fear when it comes to transphobia and like homophobia if people just understood, and like we're starting to see people understand the L, G, and B part of the spectrum better, but we're getting a lot of things like the Leave the T movement.
Yeah, and that's so troubling to me. Like, even if you're not actually trans, if you're part of the queer community, then you know what it's like, most likely, to feel marginalized and to have basic dignities denied you.
Yeah.
So why would we repeat that to other people in our community? Like, you could say it's like a different thing. Like, it's not sexuality, it's gender, which, you know, fine, but it's all the same realm of human existence, and it's a difference that is just as intrinsic and
unchangeable,
natural and normal as it is for sexuality. I hope that people see more and more of this chick, because humor is an excellent way to get your foot in the door with people who might be a little closed off.
This is the one I found her with.
I'm a millennial, and I have to admit, I am scared of you Zoomers. You guys were born between each of the Twin Towers going down, God has been dead your whole lives, and you don't give a fuck about anything, do ya? You have no environment, you had a fascist president when you were in puberty, life put a loaded gun to your head and you cocked the hammer and said, do it, motherfucker. We millennials, we make fun of baby boomers as if karma isn't gonna bite our fucking dicks off. Oh, we're not like them. Why? Because we're not selfish and obsessed with our childhoods? We're not better than them, we're just poor. I have no idea what you little fetuses are going to do to us. You're probably going to use some app we don't understand to summon a flash mob to terrorize us in our nursing homes while they wear our Harry Potter house colors or some shit.
Flash mob, that's a millennial concept. What Zoomers are organizing flash mobs? Like,
the app you don't understand is literally how I like low-key feel about TikTok.
I'm sure that's exactly what she was referring to. She's delightful. She's hilarious. I love her. I want to say 50s mom energy.
Oh, I cannot wait for you to see the next TikTok. Yeah.
When people find out you're transitioning, they usually ask you a question like, oh, that's how did you come to this decision to live your most authentic self? Nah, they ask if you're getting your dick cut off, which is fine. I understand. It's an intriguing question. You know, if someone's penis might be getting removed, what are we going to talk about? The weather? But that's actually not how it works. You don't get your dick cut off at all.
This one's educational.
Personally, I wish that was how it works, because I would get mine just stuffed and then carry it around like a pet cat. Whiskers and I are watching our stories. That's not how it works, though.
Dude,
sorry.
for sure.
It actually gets cut and turned inside out into the vagina, and then just the whole thing gets repurposed. It's very using every part of the body when you think about it, you know?
Oh my god.
Bada bing, bada boom, vagina.
Bada bing, bada boom, vagina. I like wish they could do the same thing but inverse for trans men, but it doesn't work like that. All I can picture is her standing and like holding like a packer. I liked Fifi's stuff because she talks more specifically about just being trans and then the rest of the world. Jamie, however, focuses heavily on the trans community.
When you come out as trans,
now that I know you're trans, please proceed to tell me every single intimate detail about being trans ever. Go, go, go. Such as, do you have a penis?
Such as,
Get this one
do you
so
have a
fucking
penis?
often. So often.
You get asked if you have a penis?
Yeah, all the time. People will either ask me, do you have a penis? Or they'll ask me, do I plan on having a surgery to get a penis? And I'm like, not that it's any of your business, but...
Who asks? In what context?
So, most recently, it's usually within chat. They'll ask me rather intimate questions about whether I'm planning on getting bottom surgery. Don't take this as I'm telling you not to ask me questions anymore. Our channel, our community, I am an open book. Please continue asking me questions about transitioning and stuff like that. But out in the wild, when someone finds out I'm a trans man, one of the first questions they will ask me is, have I already had the surgery and therefore now have a penis? Or will I be getting the surgery and will I get a penis? And it's like, I understand why our community wants to know, but like, how does this affect you on a daily basis interaction with me?
I have a feeling it kind of just boils down to an intrinsic desire to know about other people's genitals. And then with trans people, it becomes such a spectacle of like, oh, you're changing your genitals. I must know. And if you're changing your genitals, then you must be open to questions about it, right?
Well, and that's actually a really good point that you're making. To them, it's still mentally a sex change thing. And so it's very much having to do with genitals.
Yeah.
And so for those of you who have made it through however many times we've said genitals, no, I'm not planning on getting bottom surgery anytime soon.
Thank you for generously clarifying that. I've noticed that this is, I think, the second or third one that has mentioned the fact that when people are talking to trans people, it always comes back to genitals and bottom surgery. That must be irritating.
Women, return to the home.
Ooh.
This is Shaba. That's Jamie's soon-to-be wife. She's amazing.
I mean,
the message.
I work from home, so what are you going to do about that?
Make gender roles great again.
Oh no.
Why is it doing a gargoyle? Wait, is that a gargoyle?
I think it's just a statue. Gargoyles are very specific. I think you were just like going somewhere there.
Oh, dear.
What does
fucking love
that
them
even
so much.
Oh, God.
mean?
They were never great in the first place.
Yes.
I love her
Rolls,
so much.
Toilet rolls, Rick rolls, I will
Not
accept.
gender roles.
Jamie is, I believe, a doctor now. Doctor with PhD, not doctor with, like, medical PhD.
Very smart boy.
He very specifically covers, I believe, trans psychology, if not everything to do with the medical experience of being a trans person. And with that
Right.
comes, like, psychology and physiology and stuff like that.
I love that Jamie has all this medical knowledge, though, because that's really important for the trans community.
The reason why you would want to have medical knowledge about being trans is, one, to put it into words for doctors, because they're not always on your side. And two, if you get in a fight with the transphobe, they're always like, facts don't care about your feelings.
Like, oh, well, I have the facts right here.
Exactly. If you are ever looking for a really good resource, Jamie was the first trans creator that I followed on YouTube. Or I guess ContraPoints was, but he was the first trans man I followed. And he was like a huge part of the final decision for me to transition. I thought I was going to be some like amalgamation of like, I don't know, whatever the fuck testosterone was going to do to me. But when I see Jamie, I'm like, oh, he's just a dude.
It's so much easier to be who you are when who you want to be is available to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry. Oh, God.
Whoa. What a metamorphosis. Would you ever consider making a video like that?
I'm already planning it. Yeah.
How tough would that be psychologically for you to do?
It'll be really weird having people have access to old photos of me. Being a person, not even just being trans, being a person is always growing, like we've said. I do want to put old pictures of me up because I don't think I look bad. In fact, there's this common misconception outside of the trans community that trans people are transitioning because they think they'll be hotter the other way, or like it's all about the physical appearances and stuff, not just the mental experience of like, I'm in the wrong fucking body. I have lots of pictures of me that are super important to me that I still cherish. I love them very much, but if I look back at just a casual selfie, I don't know who that person is. Sometimes I don't even recognize it as me, and it takes me a minute to go, oh, that's right, that's how people used to see me? That's me. That's how I used to look.
It's interesting how the trans experience, TM, is very much built around kind of a before and after. In a lot of people's minds, I think, there's like a clear distinction between like before you transition and after you transition. But
Yeah.
that tends to apply less, I think, to non-binary people. I know it's not this way for everybody, but at least for me, there wasn't a whole lot of difference between before and after. It was more like I stopped trying to be strictly male.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's just as valid. I definitely can see how the beginning, middle, and end sort of thing does doesn't completely exist on like the non-binary side of being trans. You're just, like you said, it's time to let go, and I will be my most authentic me, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Are the transphobes okay?
There are no pronouns, there is only he, she, they. No, they're variants. Hashtag do not normalize pronouns.
I guess not.
I fucking live for it, dude.
I love how he
live
even
for
like
it.
got behind a pulpit.
And so we are moving on to Sam Collins.
Oh, I love Sam Collins.
After I went on testosterone, I thought I would get a really nice beard like the rest of the people on testosterone. And after 8 years, this is what I end up with.
And he's so cute, too.
High schooler greasy mustache is what I end
He
up
pulls
with.
off the greasy mustache, okay?
He really does. He looks so good.
Walking out of a trailer park is a look.
I'm all about like destigmatizing trailer parks, by the way. Like I am on board with that.
Yes.
Quote unquote trailer trash, like fuck off. There is nothing wrong with growing up in like a trailer park community. What the fuck ever. Like that's some of the
Right.
most tight-knit communities in some cases. Plus I was a gas station attendant forever, so I feel like sometimes I still get the gas station attendant look down, and he's got mad gas station attendant vibes.
Oh
with
my
that look.
God. Yes, I know the vibe.
Sam is like a quote unquote short king, and like he has like whole videos about like his height and like whether or not he has height dysphoria and stuff like that. But his girlfriend is taller than him, and he has videos up about like cis men who don't realize he's trans or ignoring that and like talking shit about him for being short, like of all things.
On the one hand, congratulations, you're experiencing the very authentic male experience of being made fun of for your height. But at the same time, does that need to be part of the package of being a man? Really?
How are you doing today, Jasmine? But you did this for what? Why not? Why? Why not? Why though?
I fully
Why, though?
empathize hanging on by a thread like that. One dopamine molecule trying to keep me happy. I feel seen.
This is the first one I've pulled up that talks about the dysphoria part of being trans.
Yes, this is the first one to talk about dysphoria.
Because, like, not everyone experiences dysphoria, and we always experience it differently and to different levels. I feel like Sam does a really good job of talking about dysphoria. He's also come to understand that, like, you don't have to have dysphoria to be trans. It's not, like, a requirement, but he has dysphoria. I enjoy seeing dysphoria-related comedy because it's one of those things that I can't change it. It won't go away. It'll get better, but it won't go away. I will almost always be second guessing myself. It's a part of anxiety and it's a part of moving from one gender to the other. One day I may have a full beard, but I'll walk in the bathroom and look in the mirror and be like, oh no, I look super femme. Like my eyelashes are too long, so now I look femme. It's like literally shut the fuck up.
If you're part of the LGBT community, you gotta see this.
My pronouns are he and they.
Oh, this one's kind of a heavier TikTok.
Ariel Scarsella.
Oh, okay, you know who this is.
Yeah.
Why are we losing all of our lesbians?
Why are we losing all of our lesbians? Ariel, have you ever considered the fact that the lesbians do not want to be around you? That's why you don't see them as much. And you didn't lose a lesbian because Elliot is Elliot.
R.I.P. Ariel Scarsella. I love Sam's delivery. He's always very just like neutral and monotone about it.
Deadpan
I'm
almost.
like, something's really sexy about that. I don't know why.
I actually am really like happy to hear you say that. I know that Sam isn't gay and that Sam has a girlfriend, but like for a gay trans man, I'm constantly worried that like cis men won't find me attractive. Like I don't want bottom surgery, so I'm always going to have
a vagine.
For some gay man, they're not chill with that.
Yeah, but you'll also find a lot more open-minded ones, especially these days. Like, there are only going to be more and more open-minded gay men about this, I think, going into the future.
Now I'm running into the problem where, like, gay and, like, some bi men are, like, fetishizing me, where I am, like, the best of both worlds kind of situation, where I'm a man, but they don't have to deal with a dick. And it's like... It's difficult because part of me is like, ooh, they find something about me sexy. And then I'm like, okay, but like there's more to me than that. This one is such a fucking mood. This is the one I don't know if you're gonna get.
Tell me you're trans without actually telling me you're trans. I'll go first.
This shirt better not be falling into my cleavage. Is that what it is?
Basically, you can see me doing it. I'm sure you've cut out most of it most of the time, but there are times where I'm adjusting my binder, and what you guys can't see is I'm pulling on the bottom of my binder and pulling it outwards to like pull it away from me to like fix it. But like, if you're walking into the wind, you'll see like trans guys pulling their sweatshirts away from them. If like you look down and you're like notice a noticeable bulge, you're like, I gotta fix that.
I just love how masculinely he does that little adjustment. Like just kind of casually pulls it out. You know, just like some dude grabbing at their wedgie or something. You know, just casually like you can have boobs and still be masculine.
Oh, absolutely.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now that I've like gotten further in my transition, my boobs don't look femme at all. Like if I'm gonna put it in a certain way, like
nice.
As you take testosterone and stuff, you get body hair everywhere depending on your genetics, and that includes your chest, homie. Like
you getting chest hair now?
Yeah, I have a pretty like
gang.
Gnarly. Hell yeah, not that much yet, but I'm getting there. I'm putting the boobs in man boobs.
Putting the man in man boobs. The boobs, the man together again in a way the cis never expected. So that was a fun little collection of TikToks. Thank you for putting those together. I'm hoping, actually, that we can do this sort of thing again sometime with even more trans creators. If you want to see us do this again, please leave us a comment. Tell us some of your favorite trans creators that maybe we could react to.
Don't forget to give this video a like so that way we know that you want to see more of it. Please remember to subscribe, ring that bell.
Give us a tip on Ko-fi if you're feeling so inclined, or if you dare, subscribe to us on Patreon. And with that, stay extra, everybody.
Stay extra. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ooh, I need to be spanked. Ooh, I almost said stanked.
Spank my stank.
Spank my stank. No! We're putting more things in the world that didn't need to be here.
Our entire channel is just going to descend into the scatological.
The scatological canon. Why did you decide to become a trans man? Well, you see, I really liked boobs and also, you know, really wanted to be a man. So, man boobs. They're mine to have all I want. That's like a real thing that TERFs fucking think, probably. Ariel
Scabizella.
Yeah, I couldn't remember her fucking last name, and she doesn't matter enough to me to remember her last name.
Scartissuella. Scatzilla. Ariel Scatzilla.
Scatzilla? Oh no!
She's from the Scat universe. I hope you are now feeling more aware of trans people than you were, you know, before this video. Happy Transgender Awareness Week. Enjoy your awareness.
Enjoy.